Hello, everyone. Welcome to All Things Arsenal. Today we are looking at the massacre at Anfield. So we lost 4-0 against Liverpool. I think most people would have put Liverpool as favourites to win the game, but some people would have given Arsenal a shout because Arsenal were on form. Liverpool just lost to West Ham, even though this is after the international break. They had obviously drawn Brighton before. They dropped points at Brentford early on in the season. And it's a game of football, anything can happen. But I think the way the game went, right, Kingsley, is one of those, yes, Liverpool did well to get the first goal. Yes, we had the Mane incident again. That's the second time he's done a challenge like that to an Arsenal player, but I won't shout about that too much. A bit, I will. But if you give a team like Liverpool a second goal, you're asking for trouble. So yeah, what was your take on it, Kingsley?
There's only one reason why we lost that game, and it's because Arteta was naive.
So you're going straight for the manager. Fair
Straight
enough.
for the manager, bro. Straight for the manager. He has to understand that we are not there yet to be trying to match Liverpool player for player. I understand your philosophy of playing out of the back. That's all great. We can do that against teams like Everton and Newcastle, Brentford, when we have our full squad. But against teams like Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, where they're the only three teams in the league that will press you so high, you'll be forced to making mistakes every 5 minutes. That second half, we managed to hold on for about 40 minutes. I was like, okay, maybe times have changed. Second half, I think Arteta must have got Klopp mad. Klopp said to these like, yo, just press them. They're not that good. Put them under pressure and improve that. For me, Arteta needs to see that quickly and be like, yo, we need to switch up a game plan. Let's just go long and just stick it on them and make them run towards their goal for the rest of the game. End of the day, we have the pace to do that. But no, he wants to be naive. He wants to carry on playing up on the back and making us look like idiots. He made Tavares look like a terrible left back. Tavares is a class left back. He's made him look witless. He's made Lokonga look witless. And yeah, it was disappointing for me. It just shows you where we are. That's great. We can beat the mid-table teams, but it shows how far we are from top three. Massively.
Okay. I agree with everything I said there. Everything, 100% I agree with. But I want to put it on the players as well. Lokonga made those three mistakes before Tavares' mistake, right? And obviously that mistake was duly punished. Now, where Lokonga gave the ball away in those times, there was obviously pressure and that goal was coming. So I think if Lokonga, after making the second one, just takes his time, because I counted them with 3 turnovers by Lokonga. After those 2 times, and yes, he's a young player, but you've got someone like Foden who's a young player, and I've seen Foden make mistakes, but I've not seen Foden make mistakes 3 times in a row. I've seen Emile Smith-Rowe make mistakes. I've not seen him make mistakes 3 times in a row. I've seen Saka make mistakes. I've not seen him make mistakes 3 times in a row. So obviously there's your levels of players and where they are. And obviously those players play a lot more forward. So their mistakes won't show up as much as someone playing in that position. So that's likely to happen. Lokonga's probably the youngest player given that responsibility in world football apart from Bellingham. And Bellingham is just different. I mean, you're from Birmingham. I don't know if you ever saw Bellingham playing and knew he could do those things that he's doing today. But Bellingham's the only one that I know in popular football in terms of the teams that we see often. There's probably someone there that we're not watching that's as good as a Bellingham or showing good promise. That I think Lokonga's the only other person who has that responsibility at his age. So this was likely to happen. It's a shame it's happened against a big team like Liverpool. But what I would have said is someone, maybe a Partey or someone else who's near him, maybe a Gabriel or Wacker said, okay, fella, make sure you don't make that a third time or take it easy. Who knows? These are so nuanced and they happen really quickly because all these mistakes, they happen like bam, 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 bam. So I'm not saying that Lokonga's mistake made Tavares made a mistake, but it invited the pressure. And that's why Tavares decides to go back.
This is why I'm blaming Arteta for his game plan.
I understand. That's why I say I agree with you.
Play selection.
That's why I say I agree with you.
In that game.
I know, and that's why I say I agree with you. But I think as a baller yourself, Lukonga's been playing for what, 10, 12 years now.
Yeah,
All
but
these
no, he's never
coaches must
played
have
a
been
game like
telling him,
this.
don't give it
That
away.
was the hardest game
You
he's
can't
ever
be
played.
giving it away.
Listen, a Liverpool press when they're aggressive like that is the best team in the world. It's impossible to play against. For me, I understand you're saying Lukonga has had to play better, but
That's
Lukonga,
free. That's free
Lukonga has a
turnover
you have to
for a
understand
coach.
Lukonga has a style
What
of
are you
play.
telling your
That's,
player?
bro,
Free
Arteta has to
turnover.
know that. Arteta has to know that this is Lukonga's style of play. Lukonga's not going to get the ball and hit it long. He wants to build up play from the back towards the final third. He doesn't want to hit it long. In a game like this, you have to put 2 and 2 together, Arteta. We're not going to be able to play out from the back. Why are you starting players like Lukonga in a game like this? I understand Shaq is out. El Nene is not a great player, but El Nene is not making those mistakes. I don't even like El Nene playing that much, but El Nene is not making those mistakes. For me, he had to be more negative. He had to be much more defensive. He played well too naive. It was similar with the City game. I know we had the sending off, but then he didn't shut up shop. He didn't change anything. He still thought he could get something out of the game. Too naive, bro. Relax. End of the day, Liverpool and City, every single player in that Liverpool and City starting 11 walks into our Arsenal squad and removes whoever's in. So why do you think you can then outplay? You're too inexperienced for that. End of the day, David Moyes
Well,
has the
actually, let me
experience.
pause you. Maybe one of Gabriella White steps next to Matip and looks instead of Matip. I'm just saying.
In terms of experience and how to handle a game, a big game like that, a big
Yeah.
game.
Matip
You
goes
know,
with
you
him.
know what I'm saying? Especially when
I'm, I'm,
Liverpool are third.
I'm feeling myself too much. I'm feeling myself too much.
Especially when Liverpool are literally they were only 3 points above us. That's a game where you want it tight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You don't want
You
to. You
know
don't
what?
want to.
You know what? Let me say this. By the way, if you're watching those who just joined on, it's late, but we're reviewing the game against Liverpool today. So you're welcome. Thank you for joining us. But let me share something with you, Kingsley. If you remember Arteta's very first game against Liverpool, he did what you said now. They sat back and they only hit Liverpool on the break. They got one goal. They got actually 2 goals off Liverpool mistakes. I think in the progression and the journey of his team at the moment, he wants to basically have them sticking to the game plan. At the moment, this is who he is. Remember, this is Arteta's second year in coaching. And yes, I agree 100% what he said. But I'm trying to show the other side. Could this be why he's doing this? I wouldn't have done what he did. I'm with you. I would have done it your way and played that cagey game like how some teams do to others, right? Like how he did the first time. And maybe, because obviously this time around he had a lot more creativity and a lot more players better than they were back in when did they play them like that? Was it 2020? Yeah, it was 2020. Obviously, you had a lot better players, or they're better than they were in 2020. So I would have done that. But I'm thinking he sticks to that because of where they're going, because these players are coming from different mentality, different mindsets before, and he's trying to keep them on that journey that even when things aren't going well, you stick to where you are so that you can keep on uh moving forwards and doing what the manager's asking you to do and playing with the philosophy. You're right. That works with better players, but in the journey of where they are, he's now seen that, look, it hasn't worked out. So maybe when he's about to play Chelsea next, because I think he has Chelsea before City in January, maybe he will do that then because it didn't work out.
He won't.
There's a good chance he won't.
He
But
won't.
then you keep going till you break through, because let's be honest, right? They had 2 half chances against Liverpool that they could have scored on another day. They didn't. And obviously, we know goals change games, because when a team scores, whether Arsenal went 1-0 up or they drew one, or they got to go back 1-1, yes, Liverpool would have come out again, but goals change games. So if they came out again, they might have left a bit more gaps at the back. Whereas after they got their second goal, they could come forward with a purpose that, okay, we don't need to be gung-ho. We still need to shop. So let's see how it works and if it works against Chelsea.
Another thing as well with that, absolutely.
Or Chelsea type team, should we say?
With the with the absolute massacre as well. What I also saw again was hints of why people had doubt about Ben White, especially for Jota's goal. If you remember, I don't know if you remember last year, Rashford scored a similar goal against Ben White, dropped him twice. diving in too quick. He just needs to be. I think it's because it was a big game. Because normally he has more composure than that. But he just needs to be more. If he was just more composed then and just held off Jota and waited as a defender, you should wait until the striker makes the first move. If you're gonna go in, diving in, it's so simple for him to just fake shot you. Like it's basics, isn't it? And then once that's happened, it's inevitable. The goal's gonna score. So we did see a glimpse of that. And then with the third and fourth goal, I feel like after 2-0, everyone just gave up from me. Everyone just realized, it's finished.
It was a sucker punch. That second goal was a sucker punch, especially the way it went. When you give away a goal, depending on where you are as in your mentality as a footballer, it can feel really like a sucker punch. But one thing I did like about Ben White, Ramsdale, and Gabriel is that they kept going.
Yeah,
those three in particular kept going. I'm not saying Tommy didn't. Tommy was getting a lot of work because he had Robertson and Mane to deal with.
Yeah, and Saka didn't come back to help.
And I reckon there's every chance Arteta's telling Bukayo Saka, you know what, you need to start doing your defensive work a bit better. If you've noticed, Saka's just been dropping off that defensive work ever so slightly, hasn't he?
Yeah, because he knows he's going to start every game now. He doesn't have to. It's dropped.
Yeah, before when he was coming up, remember that's one of the reasons why Southgate likes him more than the others, because he does that defensive work. So you just need to remind him, hey, you know what? You're not Mbappe, you're not Messi.
Exactly.
You know,
you don't understand.
You need to keep doing that.
You got players, you got Salah and Mane, you got Mahrez, Sterling, and Foden. When they're on the wing, they're working tirelessly to get back. So why do you think at Arsenal, a team that's trying to, rebrand and get back up there, why do you think that you can slack off? Otherwise, you might as well play Pepe.
Exactly. So I think we will start seeing Saka doing that again, because as we know, they do review what happens and what goes on, and that's something that we're going to see. So,
Also, a big shout out to Ramsdale as well, because otherwise it would have been about 6.
I was about to come on to him. I reckon whatever happens this season,
he's the signing of the season, mate.
100%. Whatever happens, just not in the Premier League, in world football. In world football, I don't care what anyone says. He definitely is getting into, unless some bad form or injury happens, he's going to be in everyone's starting 11. And before long, I mean, World Cup is in 2022 December, and I know this isn't the England channel, but I find it very, very hard that he won't be starting that World Cup game as England's.
And he's younger.
I find that very hard.
He's clearly ahead of Pickford. If Southgate doesn't see that, then again, it's Southgate in it, so I would even put it past.
It is. But so I think that has been it. And credit to Liverpool. And just when you don't want him to be, Thiago's coming into form. And we have to mention Thiago. As if they didn't have enough with Mane, Salah, Jota. You've got Thiago ticking, and obviously him, Henderson, and Fabinho. What a midfield three that is.
Fabinho was class. He didn't let Lacazette have a sniff.
Not at all.
He was class. Everything got swept, clipped. We couldn't do anything. Fabinho was absolutely class. To be honest,
if Odegaard keeps improving, and you've seen now that even though Odegaard hasn't been starting, Arteta's plan, because that's who we've got until we either buy someone to rival, and obviously we know Emile Smith-Rowe rivals him in that position, but I think he wants to play both of them because of the balance it gives. Emile Smith-Rowe's right foot, Odegaard's left foot. So we know eventually, like Liverpool's midfield, he wants Smith-Rowe and Odegaard, or whoever comes in to challenge both of them, to play in front of someone who can, Partey. And I think if Partey doesn't step up, he is going to go for like a Basuma or someone else. Or if Lokonga surprises us and shows he can play there by himself, or Maitland now surprises us and shows he can play there by himself, he is not going to be afraid to say, hey, look, I'm playing these guys next to you now because you can't be there. But eventually, I might have to bring someone in there. I think eventually
Lokonga can do it, not against the big teams.
Yeah, Lokonga can do it. I don't think he can do it against the others yet. This is his first season. You have to go easy. Easy.
I thought teams when he played against even Leicester, he was all right. Like teams where they're not going to press you too hard. Lukonga's.
Yeah. But then the thing is, yes, not every team can press like Liverpool, City, and Chelsea, but every team's going to have that spell in the game where they can. And with a young player, if that team has that spell, like let's say West Ham, for example, they do that. That could, not saying knock his confidence, but that could set the trajectory of game, especially if, as Arsenal have been, whereby even though they've been on top in a lot of games, they've not put away their chances straight away. That's something they need to get back to. One of the reasons I reckon they beat Villa, Spurs, and Leicester like that is that they scored those goals on time.
Yeah,
you get those goals on time, that changes the game.
That's what we need. For me, we need another striker. Like, I'm sorry,
100%.
Bob has been great. I love him to pieces, but it's time for it. He's clearly declining rapidly.
I won't say he's clearly declining. I reckon they get another striker who's banging in goals, and we've got him in our squad in Martinelli, and I reckon we're going to be seeing him in games to come.
You don't think Bob is declining?
If others start getting the goals, because let's be honest, we don't have a bank reserve that we can get anyone, and this in world football today, the people who put the ball in the back of the net, they are rare. This ain't like in the days where you had Andy Cole, Ian Wright, Robbie Fowler, all these lot who know how to put the ball in the back of the net regular, consistent.
Used to do.
Yeah,
he used to, carried us in his first two seasons.
Here's the thing: when you've been so off form for so long, like he was last season,
I get that.
You're gonna need
who works hard.
Exactly. You can't just switch it on like that unless you're getting 6-7 clear-cut chances per game, and he's not getting that just yet. When he
gets his 1 or 2, he has to make them count.
Exactly, he does have to. There's no excuse for him. He needs to get back. Otherwise, yes, he will be.
For me, his touch has been off. Like his first touch has been off. His link-up play has been poor, and he's too busy trying to flick, but the flicks are not paying off.
Yeah. I know. He's trying to do the flicks because he does have the flicks when they work. Like 3 times out of 5, he'll get the flicks right. Let's be fair to him, and let's also be fair to him. He doesn't have bad link-up play. He does have good link-up play if he does it simple.
He only has good link-up play when Lacaz's on the pitch.
Simple.
When Lacaz's on the pitch with him, he has good link-up play. I don't really see him have chemistry with anyone else.
Well, explain the Tottenham goal then. Explain the Tottenham goal that he got. I mean, linked up with it, ESR. You're on mute, by the way. You put it on mute by accident.
I'm saying that's 1 in 10 games, though, isn't it? Like, I need to see.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to remember, these guys and your coach, they train every day. You can't simulate everything you do in training. It's like, I now know why Partey has been shooting so much. Partey must actually score bangers in training, because look at that shot he had tonight. Even though it was kind of close-ish for Alisson, he got it on target. Last year, Partey wasn't getting anything on target.
Yeah, I understand that.
We now see him free kicks. Partey is there next to Lacazette or Aubameyang or when Odegaard is on, simply because he must be scoring these in training and getting better, and that's why he's there. Last year, he wasn't on free kicks. Last year, he wasn't. All his shots were just going wild. Now, we've seen him hit the bar in pre-season. We've seen him get a couple on target. We've seen Lukonga not get any on target. So he needs to watch his shooting. I don't know what was going on tonight. But this is telling you what they have been doing and what they've been practicing. And that's why, hopefully, one of these long-range shots or shots in the area are going to go in from Partey, and then he'll have the confidence to shoot more. Like ESR. Remember last year, ESR was taking shots and wasn't scoring. But this year, he's got a few goals. Guess what? He's confident. He's confident. So now we expect him to either test the keeper or hit the back of the net when he shoots. Same way as every Odegaard free kick will probably either be on target or he's scoring now, because that goal gives you the confidence. And this is what these boys need. We know they're still a work in progress. Yes, they were unbeaten before today's game, but they ain't been facing Liverpool. And the good thing about this league is that they're not going to be facing Liverpool and Chelsea United every week. They now know that teams will be expecting them to come with and come hard, and that will kind of put teams back, and that will kind of give us a chance to get at teams. So that's progress.
That's what I like.
We're much better than them.
City, Chelsea, and Liverpool are the only teams that I fear now. That's what I like.
Yeah. That said, doesn't mean that they can't lose to other teams, because
they will. They will, because you have your off days. But the off days are definitely decreasing compared to last season.
Definitely, they should.
You know, the strongest squad though. So much. I'll get into that. But yeah, I'm agreeing with you. It's a much stronger squad now. I got much more belief, but you know me, I'm still not with the.
Oh yeah, we want more. We want more because we know where we're coming from, and that's what
it's not even just wanting. It's not even just wanting more. I'm just still not fully convinced by his game plans.
Well, I'm gonna still go with, because of the strides he's made, even just this season, and the fact that he is gonna get money to spend next summer. I'm gonna trust the process till it's either time to move on from him or he spends us all.
I trust the players. I trust what they're trying to do with the youth. I trust the way they're moving forward. I just don't think he's the one. Imagine if we had a manager like Ten Hag. Oh my days! With what we have now, he'd turn his players to look like beasts.
Listen. Let me say something about Ten Hag.
We'll see a difference.
One second. Let me say something about Ten Hag. Apart from the Champions League, where Ajax are doing better this season, and that's because they freshened up their squad, I don't doubt Ten Hag is a great manager, but you need time in the league. If you bring Ten Hag today, he is not all of a sudden going to do way better than Arteta. And here's why I say that. He will still need time to adjust to this league. Pep needed a year to adjust to the league. Klopp needed a year and a half or two to adjust to the league. So if you're getting Ten Hag today, he's going to need time. Now, if you got Ten Hag when we got Arteta, that's different. Today, Ten Hag is doing a lot better. So today, Ten Hag still needs time. So that's what I'd be saying. The only difference is that if Ten Hag totally surprises us and just does whatever, we know he's got to battle with Tuchel. He's got to battle with...
That's what I was about to say. But then you get Tuchel who just gets it and hits the ground running.
But then Tuchel came into a Chelsea team of guys who had... half that team were champions a few years ago. That team already had ballers. Ten Hag doesn't have full-on ballers at Arsenal. You know, Ten Hag at Chelsea, at Paul at City is different because of the players they got there. Yeah. Remember how he was at Liverpool? He wasn't who he is today because he didn't have the team. When he had his team, that's when we saw who Klopp was. Same thing with Dortmund.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Then I say West Ham.
Klopp wasn't who he was at Dortmund when he went there. He had to get his team first. But that's what I'm saying. Don't get me wrong. Ten Hag is a better.
I hear what you're saying about we don't have the players, but then neither do West Ham. And look what they're doing. Look what they're achieving.
But they're achieving.
Are you going to turn around and tell me now that David Moyes is a world-class manager? Because when he was at United, I didn't see world-class.
Well, remember, Moyes was only able to do that on his second coming to West Ham. And he also had better players the second time around when he came to West Ham.
But he's had a strong 2 seasons.
He's had a strong season last season. We're still in the middle of this season. Remember how strong Everton were? Where did Everton finish up last year?
Yeah, that's the other thing, isn't it? But when you're just losing to City, you're beating Liverpool. They got Chelsea next. I'm telling you, West Ham are built differently now. Their players are not even that. When you look at them man for man, you wouldn't be like, oh yeah, Lanzini walks into the Arsenal squad. Musaku.
I get that. They're in a good patch. So definitely give Moyes his flowers because he did that last year. What? They finished 5th last year, right? Or did they finish 6th?
I think it was either 5th or 6th. I think it was
they finished 5th because Tottenham finished.
No, Tottenham finished 7th.
7th.
Leicester
and who finished 6th? No, Leicester finished 5th. West Ham finished 6th.
Yeah.
Leicester finished 5th. West Ham finished 6th. So yeah. Give him his dues. And they were close to 5th anyway, and they were in the running for 4th.
Yeah, it was only 2 games that they flopped at the end.
I don't doubt what you're saying, and it's about running games. There's so many, like things, like so many components. I mean, let's see how they cope now with Ogbonna not being around. So, and that's something they're gonna have to deal with. Let's see how they do in the long term.
Yeah. They want to get Tarkowski,
Antonio,
If they get Tarkowski from Burnley, they'll even be more solid. But yeah, sorry, time's going. You want to talk about the Newcastle game?
No. Let's wait and see. But I think they'll win. They'll win anyway. Come that Newcastle game, they'll win. What are you saying?
What about the Newcastle game?
Yeah, what do you reckon will be the score?
I know we played them already, wouldn't we?
Excellent. All right. So,
wait, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, I can.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it was a good game. Obviously, it's Newcastle. You're not going to expect much. They haven't won a game all season. I think obviously Martinelli's goal was just beautiful. Tomiyasu was just like water.